And this is the playbook, again, that I used to help build that channel to over 380,000 subscribers. This is what actually works because we are doing this with other channels as well. The thing that the growth gurus never want to talk about is all the time you're wasting on clipping shorts, right? You're either paying like an AI clipper that does a really bad job, or you're paying a person to clip it up for you. You're managing multiple platforms, again, Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, who knows what else, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff. You're splitting your energy across all of this, and the opportunity cost is massive. The time and money could go into something that actually converts. One strategy that builds your podcast instead of like spreading out and fragmenting all your attention across all the platforms that will drive real results. And so I'm going to get into that very, very soon here. Spoiler alert, that's on the way right now. So what does actually work? And I mentioned this in the beginning. The strategy is called the segment strategy. And this is the real growth engine. A segment is not a short. This is super important because it drives me insane when I talk about this with clients. They get fired up thinking I'm talking about social media, and I'm like, pause. No, we don't do that here, right? So let me explain what the difference is. A short is like a 60-second Instagram reel, TikTok. A segment is a 5 to 20-minute video taken from your podcast. So a segment is a standalone video pulled from, again, any episode, but this time we can get a super hyper-specific title for that segment. It has its own thumbnail. It has its own description. It targets, your audience more specifically, and it doesn't target the doom scrollers because, again, they might see 5 minutes and they're like, oh, shoot me now. I could watch 5 videos instead of 1. And so, again, it doesn't target them. It targets the people who are actually looking for long-form value, but it offers that value at a very low risk to them and a very high reward to you and them. I'll explain that a little bit more in a second here. So here's how you identify the segments within your content. This is very straightforward, but we'll get into it anyways. So you record your full-length podcast. Whatever the length is, doesn't matter. So long as it's, again, over the 15 minutes at least. But even if it's a 10-minute one, then you could still potentially do it there. But let's just say it's an hour, 90 minutes. Again, a little bit longer than, a 10-minute video. You're going to listen for the natural breaks. So say you record a podcast episode on training in your 40s. That's your full episode. Work on that title. Don't go with just that title. But that's basically like the general idea of the video. Excuse me again. But within that episode, you got 3 very distinct segments, right? The best training split for men over 40s, recovery protocols that actually work in your 40s, nutrition strategy for building muscle after 40. Each one of those is now going to become a standalone video on your channel. It's the same content, but repackaged differently in its own separate way with its own title, its own description, its own thumbnail. Again, all like it's a brand new video, but you only recorded it once, basically. So you're still giving people the long form content, again, 5 to 20 minutes. That's more than enough to prove you know what you're talking about. And the reason why I said it's low risk for the viewer is it's short enough that it doesn't feel like a massive time commitment. We've all received those links to like a Lex Fridman episode, a Joe Rogan episode, and you can see the time thing on it. And it's like, oh, dude, this is 3.5 hours. All right, I guess so. But if somebody sends you something and they're like, dude, you got to check this thing about training in your 40s, whatever it is, and you see it's only 10 minutes, you're like, all right, let's see what you got. And then you end up liking it, and then you want to check out the full-length episode, which I'm going to get into in a second here. But again, someone sees the title, best training split for men over 40, and they're ready to invest that time. It's not that tiny little morsel that they're not going to remember. It's a full serving with your logo, your packaging, your experience, your strategies, your coaching, all of that. They actually get a legit sample of that. And again, it's going to entice them to want to dive in and get more. Segments have hyper-specific titles, which also means better searchability. YouTube's algorithm understands exactly what your video is about. So if somebody does search training split for men over 40, they're going to find your segment. They watch it, they like it, they click through, and then they get more interested to watch the full-length episode because they want more. You're already giving them value and you're building trust, and they're ready to consume more. You already know this. I suck at math. But let's do some more math on this. One podcast episode is one piece of content. Cool. I'm still getting good grades so far. But the 3 segments that come from that equal a total of 4 pieces of content. The segments plus the original episode. So each segment has its own title, thumbnail, and description. Each segment drives traffic back to the main episode. And the segments often outperform the main episode because, again, they are low risk for the viewer, but they still deliver a ton of value. So I don't know what the force multiplier is on that, but I think it's like 3,000. Obviously not accurate at all. What I'm saying is this is how you're going to advertise to get people back to your original episode. So after this video that you're watching, I don't want you to leave yet. This is how I'm going to prove to you that I'm not BSing you. After this video, again, when this thing goes to the very end, go check out Mark Bell's Power Project and filter by most popular videos. Here's what you're going to see. The top performing videos are all segments. Those segments drove the most views, subscribers, and the most traffic back to the full-length episodes. Because all of those segments are tied to the most successful episodes. And this is the playbook, again, that I used to help build that channel to over 380,000 subscribers. This is what actually works because we are doing this with other channels as well.